Those are the Eagles in the dark uniforms, the blue with the blue pants, the gold numbers, the blue helmets, the Wizards in the white with the black shorts, and of course, the traditional orange trim. Diebold sets it up. And we are underway in the D2 semifinal. It'll take a bounce to, I believe it's Peter Kelsey near side. Good running room, 30.
About a 15-yard return by number 20, David Alves.
That's David Alves, the junior. And Hackett made the play, number 8 for the Barrington Eagles. We'll set up the Wizards for you offensively. Their quarterback is Mike Ouellette. It's a run-oriented ball club. They love to use Adam Molnar, who's an outstanding junior back, a 1,000-yard rusher in his first 2 seasons, and an outstanding two-way player for the West Warwick Wizards. You'll watch him all night, number 32. Jay Briggs is the tight end, 34. He will line up on the far side. 44 coming to the near side is Brian Bowden. Ouellette is a senior. The Wizards don't have many seniors, but they do have some in the skill positions that they'll have to rebuild for the 2002 season. Out of the tee they come in Ouellette. Hands, this is Alves. Well, that's a Molnar, I should say. 32, not 22. The tackle made by Bob Speaker, a name we'll be speaking all night.
Yeah, Bob Speaker, that's who Steve Alves is worried about as a middle linebacker. I mean, he's a force back there. He's a first division pick. What you're going to see, I think, is West Warwick try to control the football, use their running game. They can keep the ball away from Barrington. Barrington's offense is extremely explosive with Cirillo at quarterback. So the Wizards' game plan is definitely just grind this out and use the clock, use as much time, and keep Barrington's offense off the field.
The Wizard interior, Len Diorio is the center, Casey Factor and Derek Brouillard the guards, Jared Truvy and Mike Sullivan the tackle. It's 2nd down and 4 following the 6-yard gain by Molnar. Wing left. There's the pitch to Molnar again. And this time he is stacked up by 3 Barrington Eagles. Once again, Bob Speaker makes the stop, a loss of 2. 3rd and we'll call it 6 for the Wizards.
And this is exactly what West Warwick doesn't want. They don't want to get themselves into a passing situation early. There was no blocking to the outside that time. The contain guy just came in and shut that sweep down.
Norman King, the referee, calls it officials timeout. Tony Principe, who was in on the tackle along with Speaker, is coming out, and in will come Dave Lebrano, the junior, to replace Principe. And what they'll probably do is move Lebrano in, and they'll go to the 5-3. Ray, we were talking about that before we went on the air. Barrington's Bill McCagney probably start 5-2, move to 5-3 if he sees the Wizards run, and thus far they have. 3rd and 6 for West Warwick. Split left is Alves. Ouellette drops back. He's got a man wide open. This is Brian Bowden to the 20. Brian Bowden to the 10. West Warwick leads it 6-0.
No flags. No flags on the play. Bowden came out of the backfield, and the linebacker probably should have picked him up. Didn't. The corner was run off the play. Touchdown, West Warwick.
65 yards on the touchdown reception. And West Warwick has grabbed an early 6-0 lead on the Ouellette touchdown pass to Brian Bowden. And much as they did in their heyday, West Warwick will kick for the extra point as David Alves will try to boot it off the hold of Bowden.
Attempting the extra point, held by Bowden.
Alves has just enough. Somebody got a piece of that, Raven.
Yeah, somebody in the interior line got a piece of it, but David had enough to get it through. But what's important for West Warwick, I think, was scoring that early, and scoring the way they did on a 66-yard pass to Bowden. That's going to give them a tremendous amount of confidence. That's kind of what happened to them in the first game. They jumped out early, but then Barrington came right back at them. So let's see how Barrington handles this. That's why I said to you at the beginning, Barrington cannot be looking ahead. So if they didn't have their attention, I think they got it now.
The Wizards have a 7-0 lead. And now we can talk a little bit about Barrington's offense and one Mike Cirillo.
Oh, Mike Cirillo, I was talking to Steve before the game. Cirillo's probably the best quarterback in Division II. He was chosen last night at the division meetings as first-team All-Division quarterback. He had 2 touchdowns against West Warwick in their first encounter. And that's the guy I think Steve Alves is most concerned about, is stopping Cirillo. He's a throwing threat and he's a running threat. They just cannot let him get into his game early, or it's going to be a long night for West Warwick.
Apparently Tony Principe's okay as he drops back to receive the kick of Ali Shahade. Casey Dunphy is back along with Principe. West Warwick not known to boot deep. And it's been that way,
well before you and I were around.
Since Washington was a corporal.
Since Frank Maznicki was the head coach, so we're talking late 40s anyway.
The Eagles strengthen within 18 yards of each other. They've got 9 players. Shahade, the ground ball, picked up by one of the outbacks, and smartly falling on the ball at the 36-yard line is Joe Andriozzi, and that's where the Eagles will set up shop with Mike Cirillo, the quarterback. You'll see the Randolph or Wardika at the tail in case Dunphy plays the full, but he'll throw to Hackett, he'll throw to Principe, and he'll also throw to his tight end Trevor Michael, who's big and good.
Yeah, Trevor Michael's a big boy, and I think what Barrington likes to do is they like to run outside. They want to get around the corner, use their speed, so let's see what they start with.
Cirillo on first down, immediately up the middle, and it's taken by Dunphy for maybe 3-4 yards. The tackle is made by Nick St. Germain, who's playing there at the defensive back, inserted into the lineup by Coach Steve Alves Jr. just a couple of weeks ago. 2nd down and 6 to go for the Barrington Eagles. Cirillo came over to McCagney for the play. Dave Morris is the center. Speaker goes 2 ways. He's a guard along with Scott Fortin, who's also a 2-way player. Andrew Pierce and Andy Baum are the tackles. There's your interior of the Eagle line. 2nd down, 6 to go. Straight T formation behind Cirillo. And immediately engulfed by the huge body of Casey Factor. I'll tell you something. There was just no way that anyone who's going to escape the strong arm of Mike Sullivan there. Dunphy gets nothing.
What I think West Warwick may be concerned about is what happens now that Chris Reels is not a defensive tackle. I mean, he was a force all year long. He broke his leg at the Thanksgiving Day game, so they've had some changes in their defensive alignments. Be interested to see how people adjust to their new positions. I know Brian Bowden's now a linebacker. Casey Factor's been moved to a defensive end. So let's see how those changes fall in place, too.
Cirillo out of the shotgun on 3rd down and 6. You try and say that 3 times fast. Long count by Michael. There's the roll. This is trouble, and it is complete. At the 47-yard line, and the Eagles have a first down. We talked about Mike Cirillo and what a gifted quarterback he was. Right there, Ray, you could see no problem throwing on the run. Had his receivers, had his looks, made the play. 1st and 10.
An interesting thing there is West Warwick going to rush 3 people, had 8 guys back in defensive coverage, and Cirillo was still able to take this time by rolling out, didn't panic, found his open receiver, and first down.
Wide left to the near side comes Andriozzi. Slot man right and the T behind, and they go to Dunphy.
Ball carried by 31, Jeff Wardika.
Oh, check it, it's Wardika.
Number 33, Casey.
I was right. Dunphy on the call from the fullback spot, picks up 4, maybe 5. Not bad. 2nd down and 6 to go for the Eagles.
Well, 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6. Coach has got a lot of options here, and I think that's what you see about Barrington. They're not a standard just run team. They're going to mix it up, and the 2nd and 5 is a good call to maybe a little play action pass here.
Principe near side right. 2nd down 5. Fake to Factor, and they give to the tailback, and this time Randolph is stacked up on the left side of the line. Shahade made the stop. 3rd down, 5. And once again, you run into that situation where, Ray, a lot of times in high school football in Rhode Island, 3rd and 5 is not a lock. You're not going to throw it. Here, it's anything.
With Barrington, it's anything because he's got a lot of weapons, and we already saw in the first series what Cirillo can do. I think what was interesting there, tried to run a counter there, and the West Warwick defensive line just stayed home, and that was the end result, was a no gain.
This time Michael comes out wide left, slot left as well. Out of the shotgun, Cirillo. There's the option. Handled by Randolph, and he's got some room. He's got a first down, and he's finally taken down at the 40-yard line. The stop was made by David Alves with some help from Jay Briggs, but not before he picked up the first down at the 41.
And what happened there, they sealed Nick St. Germain, who was the defensive end, sealed him inside. Now the option came around him. There was nobody else there until David Alves came up, and his problem was he was playing pass because he had been run off the play. So a nice call by Barrington.
Cirillo spends an awful lot of time on the near sideline. After every play, he's back, he's talking, he's analyzing, he's looking. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. 7-0 West Warwick if you're just joining us. The Eagles on their first march downfield. Slot left formation, play fake, and the Wizards this time will take Cirillo down to the 48-yard line. There's the play by Sullivan once again. So far, Mike Sullivan has really made his presence felt, the junior for the Wizards.
Mike Sullivan now has been in 2 big plays, and here's the case where Barrington tried to change things up a little, go a little play action first play because they've been running first down. Came out, a little play action, and Sullivan wasn't having any of it.
2nd down and 16. Andriozzi coming to the sidelines. The play went in with Hackett. Again, Trevor Michael goes wide left. Double wing formations, Cirillo out of the shotgun. Here comes the rush. There's the screen. Ray called it. It's picked up by Randolph on the bounce and ruled incomplete.
Randolph is incomplete. Brings up
3rd and 16. Must be something in the coaching you, Doobie. You see that lineman slip his block and screen.
Screen, yeah. You get on the sidelines. The minute you see that, you're screaming, and your own linemen are looking at you like, "What are you yelling at, coach?" You know. But all of a sudden, there's that screen. They had it set up well, just kind of bobbled the reception a little bit because that could have broke. There was nobody to the outside for West Warwick in that play.
It's in the coach's blood. Ray, of course, works with Exeter West Greenwich. All right, on 3rd and 16, goes over the middle. It is nearly picked off after it bounced off the pads of Trevor Michael. 4th down at the 47-yard line. The Eagles will be forced to punt.
Well, that ball was right there, just kind of like you said. It hit him in the pads. It looks like a completion. They're lucky that West Warwick didn't get an interception off that one because you had Brian Bowden closing in from the outside linebacker spot. He had dropped off in coverage.
Deep safety is Dave Owls, number 20 for the Wizards, standing at his own 7-yard line. The kick is cleanly by Cirillo. Owls will let it drop. He sees nothing but blue uniforms. The Eagles get a nice little roll. It's going to be down at the 5-yard line. West Warwick starting in deep freeze territory for their 2nd possession of this first quarter. 7-0 Wizards.
Well, now West Warwick's backed up to their own 6. I think you'll see them try to kind of pound the ball out of here a little bit. The last thing they're going to do is put that in the air. Of course, the minute I see that, you know what's going to happen. I said they're not going to put it in the air, probably try to throw a bomb and catch Barrington kind of napping a little bit. But Steve's strength and the strength of West Warwick is definitely their running game with Molnar and Bowden. I think you're going to see them pound it out of here.
Now they shift left to right. Wingman right. Molnar in the backfield. He's on the weak side. He gets the football. And he gets turfed after a gain of about 1. The last of the Eagles to unpile looks to be Mr. Speaker.
Speaker, it seems like every time we have a defensive call for Barrington, we're calling Speaker's name. West Warwick tried a little trap block there on the end, a B block as they were called, where the tackle was kicking the end out. And what happened, the linebacker, Speaker, just came in and filled the hole. There was no place there to go.
Barrington with Baum at the nose, Pearson Fortin at the tackles. Mike Brown is one of the linebackers. Michael's playing a defensive end along with Joe Andriozzi. 2nd down and 10 for the Wizards. This time they try the left side. Not much doing there either. Shelton picks up 3, maybe 4. And if you're really kind, you could say it was a 5-yard gain. Well, now Norm King's going to move it back a little bit. So it'll be 3rd and 6 for the Wizards, deep in their own territory. We're calling it about the 11 to 12-yard line.
I tell you what I'm impressed with Barrington is their pursuit. I mean, they have not one person, but they have 2, 3, 4 people flowing to the football. Their linebackers do a nice job of just reading there. They're not trying to blitz. They're reacting to what's going on.
Molnar and Briggs in the tandem. Will let quick drop, and it is nearly picked off by the Eagles. I believe it was Baum who got his paw on it, but it dropped in front of 2 other Eagles, and the Wizards are going to be forced to punt, and Barrington should be afforded the luxury of some pretty nifty field position.
Well, what happened there is that was a timing pattern. Let the ball go before the receiver even broke to it or broke in on a little quick hook. He either threw it early or the receiver broke late because the closest guy to it was really a Barrington player in Barrington coverage over there. So, and they were lucky on that one, very fortunate.
Dunphy will let it roll, and it'll die at the 47-yard line.
With no return.
So Briggs got it out of very deep danger, but nonetheless, the Eagles basically hold West Warwick to 3 downs and out. And they're basically where they were when they gave up the ball. just a few minutes ago.
Just about, yeah. But they're inside the West Warwick 50. They're in West Warwick territory now, so they're on the 47 to start. So you're right, 3 and out. But you know what? You couldn't be crazy down here, starting at your 6-yard line. I mean, I think Steve Alves will live with putting them out to somewhere around the 50 and make them go at least half the distance.
We played a good chunk of the first quarter. Unofficially, 4:19 left to play in the period. The Wizards leading at 7-0. Had some clock trouble earlier on in the football game, but everything seems to be okay now. Cirillo out of the shotgun. 1st and 10 for Barrington. Michael wants to throw. He's got a little bit of time, and he drilled it right into the hands of one of the West Warwick Wizards.
Intercepted by number 34,
It's Jay Briggs. First down, West Warwick, and suddenly the Wizards are back in business at their own 42.
I'm sure Mike Cirillo didn't mean to throw that to Jay Briggs, because that's the best receiver he had out there was Briggs. He threw it right at him. I think that right now Jay Briggs is saying, where did this come from? Either he expected his receiver to be in that zone and be in that lane, or something happened, because I mean there wasn't a blue shirt around. He threw it right to Briggs.
The Eagles outlet located in the south end zone.
1st and 10 for West Warwick. Alves in the backfield with Molnar. Slot man left. Here comes Alves in motion right through your TV set. Molnar slowed behind the line. Nice recovery. And he's out to the 49-yard line. A gain of 6 by Adam Molnar. 2nd down.
About a 7-yard pickup. Brings up 2nd down and 3.
Tyler Almeida made the stop and now comes out for the Barrington Eagles. West Warwick in a wide left. Briggs goes slot left. Molnar and Alves again in the backfield. And Molnar gets to midfield, but no more. That time the convergence led by Andrew Pierce along with LeBreau. 3rd down.
Yeah, you're right, because the first play, it was all Molnar. He did it all by himself, and that play, he just ran into a pile of blue shirts, not very far to go. I mean, Adam's a good runner. He's only a junior, had over 1,000 yards this year, but 3rd and about 2 here, so this is going to be an interesting call.
Olette brings them out on 3rd and a pair. Wingman right. There's the old West Warwick wing reverse, and this time Bowden gets nothing, but we have a yellow hanky on the field. Norman King says, hold everything.
76 Scott Fortin.
And he'll have a conference.
8 short Hackett, all in on the tackle.
How long has that play been in West Warwick's playbook?
Oh, a long time. It's just a little wing counter. You fake the pitch, and then the wing comes back inside. But I think what happened is the wide receiver on this side jumped just a little early, not by much, but that's what happened.
Illegal procedure against the Wizards is declined. And it is 4th down. You might have seen Norman King say 1st down Barrington, but he's 1 play short. West Warwick's going to punt here.
Well, punting is the smart thing to do here. I mean, pin Barrington down, make them go 70, 80 yards. You hope there's no return here. So, this is a good, I mean, you have to do this. You don't have a choice at this time of the game.
Cirillo drops back deep. Briggs gives it the boot, heading toward the near side. Cirillo will take a look and picks it up to the 20-yard line. Michael to the 25 and out of bounds at the 27-yard line, and we have another flag on the play. Now that thing is way over on the opposite side of the field, Ray, and I have no idea what that baby was.
I haven't either, but I'll tell you what I noticed now. Jay Briggs has punted twice, and he's making a definite decision to kick away from Cirillo. Cirillo that time lined up towards the right side of the field. He kicked it to the left. The last time he kicked it left. He's stepping in that direction to where he wants to kick, because he's definitely trying to keep it away from Cirillo, which tells you what kind of an athlete he is.
With a flag on the far side of the field, you got to think illegal block or a hold or something to that end, and Norman King is marching off half the distance to the goal line. And the Eagles can ill afford this kind of stuff. It's a hold against Barrington on the return. So the Eagles will begin their drive at the 18-yard line. Dunphy is the full. Now Dunphy lines up actually as the tail behind Andriozzi. He gets the call. Quick opener, and he's got some big yards out to about the 33-yard line. A quick opener provides big yardage for Casey Dunphy, and the Eagles have a 1st down.
It looked like he went right behind Fortin with a nice lead block when sailing through there, but it was all sorts of room right up the middle.
15.
Everybody yelling 15. That's the yardage.
The pickup by Dunphy gives the Eagles a 1st and 10 at their own 33.
The Statmeister Frank LeGros all over that call. All right, it's 1st and 10 for Barrington. Again, they try to give it to Dunphy, and he might have picked up 3, maybe 4 that time before Molnar met him. It's going to be 2nd and 7.
2nd and 7 to try coming over to the west, their left, West Warwick's right, and just a nice coverage by the linebacker, outside linebacker, stuffed up, filled the hole.
There are a veritable slew of all-division players on this football field tonight. If they're not from Westerly, they're from these two teams. And they're good. 2nd down and 7. Cirillo brings them out. Straight tee behind him, wides left and right. Michael's going to option, tucks it in, and picks up maybe another 4. Bowden helped to meet him. Shahede was there as well. Now we'll figure it'll be 3rd and a couple. And now, Billy and company can do anything.
Anything is right, but the guy who had the key block there was Principe. He had block on the defensive end, sealed him off. That allowed Cirillo to get around the corner. Principe was the key guy to that play.
3rd and a pair. You know, it's interesting to see how West Warwick plays this thing. I mean, there was a time when West Warwick used to play 8-man front automatically. You can't do that here.
No, and they've been changing it up a lot. You'll see a little 50, a little 4-man front. They change it up. It looks like there are about 6 guys on the line right now.
Andriozzi, slot left. Dunphy in the backfield. Cirillo, play fake, holds, looks, rush, lets it fly, and it is complete. But they lost 5 yards on the play. Andriozzi made the catch, but that play lost 5 yards. 4th and long.
What happened there was Jay Briggs, the middle linebacker. He's assigned to the back out of the backfield. That's where Andriozzi came from. He was right on his shoulder. When the ball got there, Briggs got there. 5-yard loss.
That is the end of the first quarter. And the Wizards have a 7-0 lead as we head back to the benches. A little discussion with the coaching staff. Steve Alves Jr. will walk over to his Wizards. Phil McCagney will meet with his Eagles. It has been a very strong showing by West Warwick's defense this early in the game.
Right now, I see that as being a difference in the game. West Warwick's defense is really taking away, I think, some of the things Barrington likes to do. They really contain Cirillo, except when he runs the option. That's about the only thing, to be honest, that I've seen that's been effective. But Cirillo also had that interception that he threw to Briggs. So the West Warwick defense has really stepped up. The question is, can they maintain this, obviously, for 4 quarters, or will Bill McCagney figure out maybe there's a hole in there? But I think what West Warwick has also done is changed up what they played from the first game. The first game they played a 50 front, a 52 defense. They've gone to a 4-4 this game, and I'm not sure Barrington expected that.
Ray, you know, we talked a little bit earlier about Barrington looking past and maybe thinking about Westerly. It is a very dangerous thing to have beaten a team earlier in the season and to come back and to play a survival game against that same club. And I go back a few years to a West Warwick Tollgate series when Tollgate absolutely annihilated West Warwick 52-6. The Wizards came back in the semifinal that same year and knocked off Tollgate to get to the championship game.
Yeah, and I looked this up. I mean, they just played in the 9th of November, so this is still fresh in Barrington's mind. So there's the punt, John, and that's terrible. That thing's barely going to get past the line. Oh, great
hind hop.
Great bounce.
It's a Santa Claus hop that gets the ball to the 31-yard line.
With no return.
They're not complaining on the East Bay.
1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line.
And sometimes, hey Ray, you know it as well as anybody. Sometimes you get them.
Hey, you know what happened there? That ball was higher than it was farther downfield, but it took such a crazy hop. They got a roll that doubled on top of that, put West Warwick back just about the 30-yard line. So, I mean, Barrington caught a huge break on that one.
And if you're the Eagle defense right now, you want to make a statement. You want to let West Warwick know that this is all over.
Well, really, when you look at it, other than that long pass play that West Warwick had, Barrington's defense has done a nice job of shutting down the Wizard offense. I mean, they're kind of struggling, trying to find a hole in here, and you wonder if Steve Alves is going to go back to the passing game a little.
Molnar and Bowden in the Wizard backfield, this time out of the I formation. They set a wingman left. Will let the quarterback, the man in motion is Jay Briggs. Flags go down. Bowden goes down a couple of yards downfield. It'll be 2nd down and 8 unless Barrington accepts the penalty.
I think what happened is the guy in motion turned upfield too early. Turned before the snap, and I think that's probably the call.
So they'll talk to Mike Cirillo.
Push him back.
And they will accept the penalty and make it 1st and 15. The Wizards score the game's only touchdown on a 65-yard pass from Mike Ouellette to Brian Bowden. Alves added the kick, and we stand at 7-0 Wizards. Very early second quarter.
The ball at their own 26
West Warwick's got the ball just over the 25. They're calling it the 26, so we will too. Wide left, slot left formation for the Wizards. Ouellette wants. It's going long. He's looking for Bowden, and that's a great catch at the 40-yard line. Oh, my, that was pretty. First down, West Warwick.
I tell you, that's a pro reception by Brian Bowden. He was just stretched totally out. Ball came in over his shoulder. A great pass from Ouellette. And like I said to you, maybe Barrington is so conscious of stopping the running game that they're leaving Bowden coming out of the backfield. That's twice he's been open coming out of the backfield.
36 yards on the play. Ouellette to Bowden. First down, West Warwick, virtually in front of us. David Alves goes in motion. Molnar off the drawer. Good yards. Adams got a first down at the 26-yard line. The Wizards have chewed up 47 yards in 2 plays.
Molnar carries about a 13-yard pickup.
First and 10 West Warwick at the 27-yard line.
At the 27.
This time Alves will come wide left. Molnar in the backfield with Bowden. They're out of the eye this time. Ouellette handed to Molnar right away, and this time there's nothing doing. Andy Baum was there, the nose tackle, or the nose guard in the 5-man front, along with Andrew Pierce, and Brown there too. So it's second down, and, well, they gave him a couple. We'll call it 2nd and 8.
What West Warwick's doing, too, is they're setting up twins over here. They have 2 wide receivers that are very close to each other. And it's taking Cirillo out of the play because he's forced to come over and play defense now. It takes him out of the middle, and that's why I think you're seeing Bowden getting free coming out of the backside because the corner's got to worry about the tight end, so they've really isolated Brian Bowden on a linebacker.
Out of the eye they come. It's Molnar and Bowden again. Ouellette wants to put her up there. And this is incomplete.
Well, it's pass
intended at the 15-yard line for Balotelli. So we'll call it 3rd down. And 8. It is a perfect night. They were saying showers, chance of rain for the next 5 days, build the ark, all that kind of stuff. Nah, perfect night for football.
I tell you what, it's hard to believe this is November 27th. I remember a couple of games you and I doing, we would have had about 8 pair of long johns on this time of year.
That's right, only 6 on tonight. 3rd and 2. Ouellette under a big rush, but he got it off. It's the screen to Bowden. And he is across the 20 to the 18-yard line. Going to be close to first down yardage. Pierce and the whole gang came through. And Ouellette got it off just in the nick of time. Short by a little. 4th. And maybe 5 feet or so.
A nice call there. You had Barrington in a blitz situation. So again, Bowden's coming out of the backfield. Had a nice setup for the screen. Coach Alves taking a timeout here. I think he wants to tuck this one over a little bit.
Steve Alves Jr. recognizes the importance of this play. If he can get out to a couple of touchdown leads. And now if you're Billy McCagney, you're saying, hey, here's the one we're going to stop, boys. Here's where momentum can turn. Get out there and do your thing.
I'll turn in a hurry. I mean, the burden right now is on the Barrington defense much more than it is the West Warwick offense. If West Warwick is not successful here, they still have Barrington pinned on the 18-yard line, give or take. So they got a long way to go. So Barrington's defense has to step up big here. This is, for the first half anyway, it's a key play.
If you're Alves, you've got the 1 touchdown cushion. Granted, it's early. Do you chance putting it up? Why not?
Well, I think... Thanks, John. I really appreciate that question. If it's me, I'm going to go for the first down. I want to get the first down here and give myself 4 more chances, and I want to keep Barrington's offense off the field. So if I can get the first down here running, and you got 2 guys who can do it, you got Molnar and Bowden, so you can't key on either one, I think you go for the first down.
Here we are, challenging the minds of 2 very, very brilliant football coaches, McCagney and Alves.
Number 32, Adam Molnar.
It's Molnar for the first down.
3-yard pickup from Molnar. Good for a Wizards.
So the Wizards come up big on 4th and 2. Their drive stays alive. They chewed up 36 on the pass to Bowden, 11 more on the draw by Molnar, but that 2-yard run may be the most important of this drive if they can push it into the end zone.
Well, that's big, John, because now you get four downs, you're working with it, you get some time, and again, you're taking time off the clock, and I'm looking at about, I think it says 7 minutes in this half.
Molnar again. He can carry an awful lot. Nice tuck inside, and he got to the 10-yard line. He came right back inside, saw the man turning him in, and he took Principe in and got himself a couple of yards to the 10, maybe to the 9-yard line.
And he ducked the shoulder and just got by Mike Brown. Mike Brown had come in clean. Adam ducked the shoulder a little bit, got around the corner, and then it was daylight.
Bowden this time wide of Alves left. They go right back to Molnar. Adam got one that time. He's durable. In his freshman year, he had dozens of carries. I remember just a couple of weeks ago, he had 34 carries, 35 carries in a game.
We scrimmage West Warwick every beginning of every football season, and Adam Molnar is scary because he is so quick. I mean, that's what people don't realize about him. He's not that big a back, but he's, like you said, he's very durable and he's very quick. He's a very quick runner, and that makes him tough. You never get a clean shot at him because he's always moving. Timeout now, gets his kids settled, makes sure he gets the play called that he wants, so he gets his first down here. Bill McCagney on the other side is saying what we just said the last series. Hey guys, it's put up or shut up time. I mean, you've got a chance here, 3rd down and 2, stall them here, stop their drive here, the momentum shifts to us. So, you got both coaches trying to figure out, all right, who's going to play this little chess game and who gains momentum as a result of it.
Here it is, 3rd down and 2 yards to go for the Wizards. They got Molnar and Alves in the backfield. Bowden the wing left side. Michaelette will set them up. The ball is at the 10-yard line. And nothing doing this time for Molnar as he got to the 9, but no more. A huge pile of blue. Pierce on piles.
Eagles on a stop.
And we'll credit him with the tackle, and now it's 4th and 2. A big play by Pierce defensively for Barrington.
Oh, absolutely, and this is what we were talking about. I don't think Steve Alves did not want to see himself in this position. He's been going mostly right with his run. Now he's going for a field goal.
Alves from 25 yards out, and he drilled it. It's a 25-yard field goal for David Alves. 10-0 West Warwick here at Victory Field.
Hey, 10-0 is 10-0. When you look at what happened to West Warwick back in the beginning of November when they played there the first time, Barrington ran all over them, and I think the challenge for West Warwick was don't let that happen again, and they've established themselves as they're the team right now that wants this more, and I think that's what you're saying.
The Wizards have chewed up some yardage. We talked about the 65-yard pass play, which opened things up. Well, that drive started back, good grief, at the 30-yard line. So West Warwick approaching the 165, 170-yard mark here in the first half, and the Eagles don't have that.
No, the Eagles aren't even close to that. I mean, the difference right now is West Warwick just is playing, I think, with a lot more intensity and a lot more emotion. I think they're saying to themselves, we've got something to prove. We came here a couple of weeks ago and got embarrassed. And I know Steve Alves was very upset with his team at the end of that game because he felt that they just didn't handle adversity well. Right now, the team that has to handle the adversity is Barrington. They have to show what they're made of. Now, I'm looking at the clock, and it's looking at 7:25, so let's see what happens, whether Barrington can come back.
And the Wizards with that traditional let's fake the approach to the ball. Shahade inserts leg into football. Ground ball to the 20. And it's Principe to the 30.
11, Anthony Principe.
1st and 10 for the Barrington Eagles. in a drive that could well turn this game around one way or the other. They need a sustained drive. They need to move the ball. Very simple. They need to move the ball.
Yeah, they haven't been effective at all. I mean, West Warwick's given them a little bit here, a little bit there, but nothing you can say, hey, they're being effective. And I think the challenge to Barrington right now is to find something that's going to work against this defense.
Mike Cirillo. Hands. And a nice hole for Randolph. Dave Randolph off to the races, 45, 47-yard line.
Number 20, David Alves.
Quick hole off right tackle, springs Randolph for 16. First and 10 for Barrington.
When you see them play and you look at it, what happened is West Warwick tried to take away the outside. They had stacked up on the end over here. They actually, in essence, had an extra defensive end. What happened is that play came off tackle. Once you had the defensive end sealed, the linebacker was already trying to look for contain. Now all of a sudden you get that big lane, and boy, I tell you what, he was one guy away from breaking that one.
Trevor Michael's seen a lot of action at wideout tonight. He's wide left. Cirillo wants to take it himself, and a flag went down. You would see holding called in 99.325% of those cases.
15, Ryan Alvarez.
Yep.
34, Jay Briggs. All in on the tackle.
It's going to be second down. The Wizards were able to string that one out nicely. Cirillo didn't have an awful lot of running room as that play started to unfold.
Well, he came out of a shotgun. They already had everybody spread out. So what happens is you don't have anybody to block off the contain guy. Once Alvarez came up and sealed everything in, now the pursuit caught up to him. He was kind of like one on the world with that particular call, trying to use his athletic ability, and West Warwick took advantage of it, sealed everything in. He had nowhere to go.
The 34-yard line
Eagle penalty
is the new line of scrimmage.
34-yard line for first down and about 20.
And this is going to be well, you heard it, first and 22 for Barrington. The Eagles don't need to be shooting themselves in the foot like this if they want to play the Westerly of Coventry in the Division II Super Bowl. 6:41 left to play, first half. It's unofficial. Cirillo out of the shotgun, fakes and goes himself. He'll pick up a few, slowed, finally taken down. Bodwin is there. Brian Bodwin makes the stop at the 38-yard line, the 39. Gain of 5, maybe 6. But second and still long.
Yeah, design play there was a quarterback draw by Barrington. Cirillo just took a step back and then went forward. And in West Warwick, it looked like, they had him keyed. I mean, you're going to have probably Brian Bowden or Jay Briggs, who are in the middle linebackers. They're going to key Cirillo. They're not going to let him run anywhere he wants to. And I think that's another thing that West Warwick has put into their defense they may not have had the first week they played.
This time, Dunphy was heading off the field, and the Eagles call a timeout. West Warwick leads it 10-0. 6 minutes to go, second quarter. And thus far, it's been an interesting game, but one that's been intensely dominated, let's say, by the guys in the white uniforms.
Yeah, they have. I think they've dominated on both sides of the football right now. They have Barrington a little confused with some of the things they've done offensively. Like we mentioned earlier, they haven't been able to pick Brian Bowden up coming out of the backfield because they've got him isolated on a linebacker. But what I'm impressed with is West Warwick's defense. I mean, they're without one of the best defensive linemen in the division, and Chris Reels. He's out for this game, and they have stepped up big time. I mean, a defensive front four, Casey Factor, and the rest of the guys that are out there, Sullivan and what have you, Brouillard, they have really stepped up, and I think they've taken Barrington really out of their game right now.
I just wanted to get a little bit of Deep Purple in. That's one of my favorites of all time. All right, it's 2nd and 18 or so. Cirillo sets the reverse. It's the option. And it is picked off by David Alves and then dropped. Alves nearly had himself a pick. There was a little bit of daylight, but Ryan Alvarez made a good recovery for the Wizards. And Alves was there as well. And when the ball was a little bit underthrown by Randolph, it turned into a near opportunity for West Warwick.
The only problem when you throw a pass like that is you've got a kid who's been running the ball. He's not throwing a lot of practice time and passing the ball, so it's real possible to get a little wounded duck like you just have, and they were lucky that it didn't get picked off.
Cirillo on 3rd and long. Sets out wides left and right, slots left and right, quarterback draw. Out to the 45 to the 48-yard line. Well short of the first down, but Mike picked up 9 yards to the 49-yard line.
24, Brian Bowden. 34, Jay Briggs on the tackle.
5:35 showing on the clock, first half.
4th down and 9. At the
Cirillo
49.
will drop back.
I'm sorry.
At this early stage, you don't expect to see a fake.
No, I don't think so. I mean, again, I think what you'll see is, like you said, we're going to punt it down, make West Warwick go the length of the field. Guess what? They just went 70 yards the last possession, so you got to take a shot here.
Alves watches it bounce at the 23, and this time it goes sideways, and there'll be no return.
About a 25-yard.
West Warwick 1st and 10
Wizards will have
at about their own 24-yard line or so. The Wizards have scored on a 65-yard touchdown pass from Mike Ouellette to Brian Bowden. And then Alves, who kicked the conversion, chipped in with a 25-yard field goal.
Thank you.
Norm King says, let's roll. Here comes Ouellette into the lineup for West Warwick. Barrington's front ready. Baum, Pierce, Fortin, Andriozzi. He's on the near side watching Bowden go to the opposite way. Molnar on first down, hit near the line of scrimmage, and he was stacked up by Bob Speaker and turfed after a gain of maybe a yard or two. Second down.
Second down, and again, I think what Barrington has to do is they have to force West Warwick in here into a 3-and-out situation. They need the ball back. They need to score the first half, I think, if for nothing else, to get their confidence back. Because right now, you can see it, that other than Speaker, I don't see a lot of emotion out there. I mean, Speaker's all over the place. I'm really impressed with him as a linebacker, but they're not getting anything from anybody else. And right now, they really need to step up and put a stop to West Warwick's offense.
Alves wide left on 2nd and 8. Inside handoff, Bowden picks up 1, maybe 2. That time they stacked it up nicely. Once again, McGrow
on the tackle.
And the defensive end on the opposite side, Trevor Michael on the stop. 3rd down, 6 to go for West Warwick.
That was that wing counter again, wing coming inside after a fake, trying to get everybody going one direction, come back inside with that little wing counter. Steve's changed his offense up a little bit, too. I mean, beginning of the year, he was doing a lot of motion, a lot of shifting, and I don't see a lot of that out of him right now in this game. A little different, but here's that twin setup, and Barrington's playing a little different. You don't see Cirillo out here this time.
3rd and long. Opposite way, Ouellette keeps it. First down. A flag went down behind the play, and this time it could be holding against the Wizards. Ouellette got the first down, but I think this one's coming back, and the Eagles have dodged a bullet. It's a clip against West Warwick. A huge call. Instead of 1st and 10 West Warwick, it's 3rd and a country mile.
Yeah, Jay Briggs, the tight end there, just a little late getting to his block and just had an angle that ended up causing a clip. And like you said, that's a huge break for Barrington because it really pushes West Warwick back. Now you're looking at some long distance to go. And granted, it's my 3rd down, but you're almost 3rd and 20 now. So that's a tough penalty for West Warwick not to take.
And you're talking possession football too, because West Warwick clock running down. If it's a first down, they chew off another 2, maybe 3 minutes of the first half. Now Barrington's on the verge of getting the ball back with about 3 or 4 minutes with which to get back into this thing. The Wizards lead at 10-0. It's 3rd and a long, long way. Alves, the man in motion, heading back to the screen. They draw with Molnar, and he is stuffed. Absolutely stuffed along the far side. Michael's got to be there. He's got to be one of them. I think the other one is Scott Fortin.
88-7 Michael.
So it's 4th down. And now, if you're Barrington, hey, send the house.
22 times.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got about 3 minutes on the clock right here. Yeah, I would go for a block here. You got them in the 18-yard line. He's kicking almost from the goal line, kicking from about his 5. I would send the house.
A block is as good as a hurry, or a hurry is as good as a block. High snap, and they nearly got to it. It's taken at the 48-yard line by Dunphy. He faked the reverse and is taken down at the 45-yard line. And then Cirillo takes down Bowden, and a flag goes down. Oh, my. Bowden bit on the reverse and tackled Cirillo down.
34 Jay Briggs, along with 23 Dan Politelli on the tackle.
And Michael might have pulled a Jeff Gordon right there and retaliated at midfield. It's a personal foul against both of them. Offsetting penalties, says Norman King. Now, like I said, Bowden bit and bit hard. And you know something, Ray, I think I mentioned back a couple of hours before the game started, Cirillo and Dunphy were working on that particular play, and they were working hard on that particular play 2 hours before the game began.
Be honest with you, Barrington is lucky that that's offsetting penalties, because I really thought Cirillo put himself in a position he could have been thrown out of the game for what he had done on the end. But, I mean, these referees are smart. They know it's a playoff game. They're not going to try to take the players out, but at the same time, they're also not going to let the game get out of hand.
On 1st and 10, Barrington's got the football. Waning stages first half. It's Randolph, and David's got some running room again. He is taken out of bounds at the 37-yard line, but he picks up some big yards. It's a 14-yard gain, and the Eagles now, as we lean over with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to play, are going to have a first down. And Cirillo went to the bench quickly, came right back to call the play. He'll send Andriozzi to the right side. Michael this time sets up tight. 1st and 10. Dunphy offset right. Randolph the tail. Cirillo holds. He works to the 20, to the 15, to the 10-yard line. Very dangerous. Mike Cirillo gets the ball down to the 11-yard line. The clock is stopped with 2:20. And finally, there's some noise from the fans to our right.
What happened there is Cirillo ran the option. Contain guy wasn't there. He bit. He did what he was supposed to do. He actually took the pitch man, and Cirillo was around the corner.
On 1st down and 10, deep in Wizards territory, Cirillo stutter steps and is taken down at the 8-yard line. He got a yard or two. The clock will run. They've got a couple of timeouts left if they want. The ball inside the 10.
70 Casey Factor and 51 Ali Shahidi all in on the tackle.
146, 145, 144. Michael says, guys, get in here. We've got some time to play with. We're going to get in the end zone. It's inside the 10 by the length of a football. 2nd down and 9. They can get a first down, although it's probably immaterial this late. Trips formation left. Cirillo looks again, tucked it in, and he was met and sacked at the 13-yard line. And I think it was Mike Sullivan again. And the Wizards have the football.
Oh, talk about a key turnover. The key guy there was Casey Factor. He kind of split the difference between Cirillo and the running back, so he really couldn't make the option pitch. It caused Cirillo to freeze, and then up came I couldn't see the number who made the tackle, John, but when the key guy was Casey Factor. He forced Cirillo to freeze. He couldn't make a decision on the option, and now the fumble recovery, and West Warwick got the ball by Briggs.
Sullivan was there along with Factor, and you can credit Jay Briggs with a fumble recovery. That is a monster play, because for the very first time in this football game, the Eagles were knocking on the door. Let's see how Alves and company play it with 1:14 left to play in the second quarter already. The Wizards have amassed a 10-0 lead. Bowden to the 15-yard line, but no more. Over on the far side, Michael is there along with Tyler Almeida. It'll be 2nd down. The clock keeps on ticking. We're inside the final minute unofficially here in the first half.
And you know what? That's not an easy play for Casey Factor. He's been a tackle all year. With Reels being hurt, this is the first game he's been playing defensive end, and he played that option perfectly. But as Mike Messier said, every time they've come out with that trips formation, they have run that option, and I think West Warwick's starting to figure that out.
Molnar in the backfield along with Bowden on 2nd down and 7 for the West Warwick Wizards. Olette hands to Molnar. Adam tucks the ball in gut and is taken down after a gain of about 3 by the entire left side of the Barrington Eagle line. Now Barrington will use a timeout here and try to force the Wizards to at least kick again so that they have maybe one last shot in decent territory.
Yeah, and you know if West Warwick has to punt that Barrington is sending the world on this one. You're not going to see a reverse. They're going to go for the block, try to get the ball. I mean, you only got about 25 seconds. At least that's what the clock's reading. I don't know what the official time is. But for Barrington here, it's a case of saving their timeouts. Good clock management. Have one timeout left, I believe, so they can stop the clock again right after this play.
Steve Alves' message, value the football. If you're going to go down with the ball. Phil McCagney's message, stop them. Stop them so we have one more shot.
Bill McCadney's message is very simple. The first guy is there to wrap the runner up. Everybody else is pulling at the football. He wants to get a strip. He's not even worried about anything else. He's not worried about blocking a punt. Right now, he's telling our kids, hey, first guy wrap him up. Everybody else start yanking at the football.
West Warwick breaks the huddle. Briggs, Bowden, and Molnar in the backfield. Alves is wide left along with Politelli. 3rd down and 6 yards to go for a first down in the waning minute of the first half. The hand to Molnar. Following his blocking on the right side, he is short of the first down by about a yard or so, and Barrington will burn its final timeout. It'll be 4th and 1.
Eagle timeout.
17 seconds.
And the clock shows 17 seconds.
Minute 71. Minute 71.
We hired Frank LeGros to do stats for us, and he's trying to tell us there's a minute 71 left to go.
Bobby Speaker on that tackle. Brings up the 4th down.
His son is Chris, number 25 from Barrington.
Number 33, Casey Dunphy.
Just a little wishful thinking. But it's not time to start wishing yet. There's an awful lot of football to be played, and this Eagles team is a great one. So it's 4th down and 3 to go. Some last-minute instructions for Chris LeGros. Chris knows there's only 60 seconds in a minute. That's why he's playing and Frank's not. All right, it's 4th and a pair. Bowden drops back in punt formation.
Three guys blocking.
And they've got an awful lot of people in front of them, too. Remember, the last time it was a very high snap. Bowden fielded it cleanly. And here they come. He got it off. It's not pretty. It's short, and it's taken at the 42-yard line by Dunphy. And then Dunphy is taken down by Jay Briggs. What a nice one-on-one play by Jay Briggs.
Except Jay Briggs is down. He got hurt when he made that tackle. You got to hope that didn't happen because Jay Briggs was the punter. He just took off. Barrington loaded their left side of their line, the right side of the West Warwick formation, and they were sending like 6 guys off that corner trying to get a block. Jay Briggs is a big part of the defense. You got to hope that this isn't an injury that's going to take him out second half.
8 seconds showing on the clock. Enough for a couple of plays if you run them right. Briggs is okay and gets a nice hand from everybody.
A nice hand for Jay Briggs.
And we've got ourselves a pretty good crowd here at Victory Field tonight, too. Weather may have a little bit to do with that.
Absolutely.
Oh, no, yeah, this is a playoff game.
That might have something
Yeah.
to do with that.
All right, Cirillo comes out. Randolph's been a major contributor, number 1. He will set up to the right.
Hail Mary.
Michael, who's got a decided height advantage on anybody who guards against him, is wide left. This could be the last play of the half. Michael will air it out. He'll go long and deep for Randolph. Knocked down very nicely by Danny Politelli.
On the coverage.
Will we have time for one more? Norman King says, let's play again. The scoreboard clock says 3 seconds left.
You can always second guess, and remember, these are high school kids. I mean, Politelli went up and knocked that down. I'm sure Steve Adams would have said to him, intercept that ball, because now you've given Barrington another chance at it. And I think he 4th down, fine, knock it down. But in that case, I think you want him to catch it, not just knock it down.
Mr. Politelli, just a sophomore. Just a puppy in the football game of life. 2nd down and 10. How aesthetic was that? Cirillo one more time, going on deep. A lot of crowd, and this one is knocked down as well.
Cirillo's pass is deflected.
And that'll do it for the first half of football. The West Warwick Wizard fans in front of us give their orange and black a standing O. At the end of the first half here in Barrington, it's the Wizards 10, the Barrington Eagles nothing. Skinny is this. The Wizards have scored on a 65-yard pass play from Mike Bowden, from Mike Ollett to Brian Bowden. Alves added the kick 7-0 early in the first. Alves added a 25-yard field goal in the second to make it 10-0 after a 36-yard pass to Bowden and an 11-yard carry by Molnar. that has been it. Now the Eagles have done well on the ground. They've got 100 yards rushing. Most of it's been Randolph and a 30-yard run by Cirillo, but the Wizards have not broken.
And the thing is, Cirillo's only 1 for 6 passing, and they've really contained him. And I think that's been right now what's created the problems for Barrington, is that West Warwick has taken Cirillo out of the game. He hasn't really been that effective. He had one good run off the option, but other than that, they've really controlled him, and I think that's what the Wizards defense has to do for the next 24 minutes.
To accentuate the positive for Barrington, as I mentioned, Randolph's ran well, and so is Dunphy. And those two gentlemen may hold the key to what's about to happen and to see who will play for the Division II Super Bowl championship. Shahede will boot it again. This is a little low one. And at the 40-yard line, or at the 39 on the far side of the field, Barrington will set up shop. I don't know if it went out of bounds or if it was recovered, but Barrington's at least got the football. All right, Hackett got the football. There's my answer. Let's reset the Barrington offense for you. Mike Cirillo is the quarterback, wearing number 3. The tailback is Dave Randolph, although he'll get some help every now and then as well. Hackett's the wideout along with Principe. You'll also see 21 Joe Andriozzi out there as well. This time, it's Tony Principe to the right side. They've got Hackett out left. Dunphy is in the backfield along with Randolph. Randolph gets the pitch. Randolph is slowed and then taken down on another fine defensive play by Brian Bowden, who is suddenly becoming the star of this football game.
And he does a good job of throwing people's equipment around, too, at the end over there. But, yeah, Brian stood his ground as the outside linebacker. He's responsible for pitch man there. Defensive end took Cirillo away. He came up and made the play on the pitch man, and that's the way you play the option.
Morris, Baum, Speaker, Pearson, Fortin, the interior 5 for Barrington. Second down at 11 for the Eagles. They trail it 10-0. Out of the eye they come. It's Dunphy. Down, I should say it's Randolph, and he is taken down from behind. Another fine defensive play, and this time I believe it was Nick St. Germain.
Yeah, St. Germain came in, and again, West Warwick is going to have a little twist on defense where they put an extra, it's almost like an extra end over there. He's up on the line of scrimmage, and I think it's taken Barrington's outside game away. Even the option right now isn't working for him, and I know that's what they were concerned about, is stopping the outside game, and they've done that very effectively.
Palatelli, Alves, and Alvarez deep for the Wizards defensively. They've been tested throughout, and so far they've been equal to the task. Here comes a 3rd and 11 for them. And this time Cirillo sidesteps one would-be tackler. Still being chased. Lets it go. It is complete. But they still need 4 yards. It's 8. To the 45-yard line went Dunphy. So the completion is good for 7 yards. But again, the Wizard defense bends but does not break.
Well, the thing what happened there, too, is Cirillo got chased 15 to 20 yards from the original line of scrimmage, so even though he completed the pass, it didn't cover anything for him, and there were 4 white shirts around the ball when it got there.
Alves back deep for Cirillo's punt.
Does he sell popcorn, too?
Alves at the 20-yard line.
Look out.
Alves sees a lot of blue. Alves is down at the 18.
With no return.
Almeida. And it looks like Dave Lebrano, 52, helped out.
Wizards will have a
First and 10 for West Warwick, and we'll set the Wizards for you offensively. Michael at the quarterback. Adam Molnar is the workhorse of the backfield. He and Brian Bowden are usually back there. Briggs helps out as well.
Principe's out, he's limping.
Ray just saw Principe come out limping. That's big because he's played well too. First and 10 for the Wizards. Almeida is in the place of Principe, the injured player. Bowden, we've got flags left, flags right, flags in the middle. This one's coming back.
Yeah, I think you had an illegal shift there. I'm just surprised they'll let the play go. Because two men in the backfield moved, so it's got to be an illegal shift against West Warwick. Principe was limping, I noticed, near the end of the first half. He went on a couple passes. He wasn't as sharp as he was, and he came out that time. Now he's on the sidelines. I haven't seen him go back in yet, but he looks like he's kind of hurting down there.
It'll be first and 15 for West Warwick. The voice you just heard is that of Ray Doobie, coach of the Exeter West Greenwich Scarlet Knights. Mike Messier is our spotter. Pam DeSalvo handling the camera work upstairs and doing a great job. Pam from All Star Video. Hi, Pam. She's up there going, hi, John. Well, this is a little more than 5.
Half the distance. Holding.
It's a hold against the Wizards.
The ball at their own 11-yard line.
So now it's first and we'll call it 17 or so.
First down and 16.
Now the Wizards were deep early in the football game and they got out of it, but not with an awful lot of spunk. They ended up with a punt that ended up at midfield, and then their defense held Barrington, and the Wizards regained control of the ground game and the field possession. This time it's first and 17. Molnar, the quick opener, wedging his way forward near the original line of scrimmage, maybe just shy of that point. The stop was made by Baum and by Michael. So we'll call it second and 11 or 12 or so.
Trevor Michael on the tackle.
Wedging. How many times have you and I used the word wedge when we described a West Warwick?
Used it all day Thanksgiving. Hey, can I have a wedge of pie? Can I have a wedge of cake? But in this football-rabid town of West Warwick, the wedge takes on a completely different meaning. That play's been used for years and years and years and years and years and years and years.
And I carried it to Exeter, so you know.
A lot of people have carried it. Briggs in motion. Ouellette drops back. He's got time. He's got room. He had a man, but it is dropped. Nice defensive coverage by Chris LeGros.
Number 25, Chris LeGros on the coverage.
He was wearing the intended receiver.
Well, Al's was lined up as a wide out there, and what the passing that's been effective for West Warwick has been their backs out of the backfield, particularly Bowden. Those are the guys who've been opening up. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall at halftime in the Barrington locker room. So I'm sure Bill McCaghney was not a happy camper after the performance in the first half, and I'm sure one of the things they said was, don't let Bowden out of the backfield.
Cirillo back there along with Hackett, Principe, and LeGros in the defensive secondary for Barrington on 3rd and 11. Again, Ouellette sets, got some time, looking deep, has a man. It is incomplete, just outside the hands of David Alves at midfield. Very much like the pass to Bowden that covered 36 yards earlier in the game, but this time Alves was just inches away from a very similar reception.
And Barrington is just missing Ouellette. It's like his arm's coming forward. You can see a hand there. They're just that split second late, and Mike's been able to get those passes off. And he's had a guy on the sidelines every time. They're working man coverage over there, and West Warwick's trying to take advantage of that.
A miss is as good as a mile for the Wizards. They're deep in their own territory in punt formation.
The punt from Briggs.
Briggs' punt is short and touched by Bowden inside West Warwick territory at the 41-yard line. So the Eagles are going to get themselves a pretty good position here as they begin their second possession of the third quarter, trailing the ball game 10-0. Remember, losers out. Winner moves on to the Division II Super Bowl against either Westerly or Coventry.
And Barrington's got to make a move here. I mean, their first possession is half. They were 3 and out. They did a nice job there holding West Warwick offensively, but I mean, they really got to start getting something generated on offense. Barrington has to, and so far they really haven't been consistent to do that.
LeGros this time, the wide out left. They come with a slot man left, and the pitch goes to Randolph. They sucked in the end, and Randolph gets 10 or so.
Run out of bounds by number 34, Briggs.
Briggs made the play, but not before Randolph, who's run very, very well tonight. Got near first down yardage. Let's see where they mark it. Actually going to be shy by a couple of yards. They say he stepped out of bounds at the 33-yard line. 2nd down and 3.
Yeah, the option, again, in that time that he made the pitch, when Cirillo's been holding the ball, he's gotten himself in trouble, but that time he was able to get Randolph around the corner. The option is about, and they haven't done it a lot. They're not doing a lot of it. They're mixing it up, but that's about the most effective play they have right now.
LeGros wide right, slot man right. The hand to Randolph again. It's a first down, and he breaks it. Randolph to the 20-yard line.
Down by number 34, Jay Briggs.
Randolph, the sophomore, has been Barrington's best offensive threat so far in this football game. He rips off a game to the 20-yard line, and now the Eagles are knocking at the door. They need this badly. The last time they were this far, or this close to the goal line, they coughed it up and fumbled a golden opportunity away with a couple of minutes left to play in the first half. They don't want a repeat of that, obviously. Strong side right. The hand goes to Dunphy, and Dunphy goes down under a wall of Wizards led by Bowden, Factor, Sullivan unpiled. The very last Wizard to unpile is Bowden. So it'll be 2nd down. Now time out of the field, and officials timeout. Norm King wants to check something out over there.
Looks like 33 for Barrington, John. It's got to come out for a play. I guess he might have got a little hurt or twisted up, maybe a little bleeding. I'm not sure what's going on over there.
Dunphy's walking off under his own power. Looks to be okay. 2nd down and 9. Randolph, the tailback. Actually sets up as a left half behind Cirillo. Cirillo the pitch. Randolph's going nowhere. There's Brian Bowden on the play. What a game for West Warwick's number 44, Brian Bowden. That's going to take the ball back to the 30-yard line.
And Brian did a great job there as the outside linebacker. We said it first half. His responsibility is pitch man. And what Cirillo's trying to do is make him commit, and Brian's not. He's just going right to the pitch man. He's sealing them off. We haven't seen Barrington, so I'm not sure if option is what they run a lot of. But it looks like Cirillo is really late in making his read. Some of the reads have been the wrong one.
LeGros wide left. They've got a slot left. Michael tight right on 3rd and 20. Dunphy with Cirillo, who takes the snap. Here's the reverse. They're the Wizards, and they put him down at the 45-yard line. Mr. Bowden with some help from Ryan DeRozier's. A loss of 15 yards. It's 4th and to the Warrentown line for a 1st down.
Well, I tell you what, Brian Bowden has been playing a defensive back until tonight's game, and because of the injury to Chris Reels, they made some adjustments, put him as an outside linebacker. He's really almost playing as a DN, and he has done a tremendous job stopping the outside run for Barrington. They just cannot get around his corner.
They had the ball 1st and 10 at their own 20. They're punting from their own 40. I'll clarify in a moment. Fair catch being called for by David Alves at the 13-yard line. What I meant to say was they had the ball 1st and 10 at the West Warwick 20, and Cirillo was punting from his own 40-yard line. It's 1st and 10 West Warwick. Still deep in their own territory in an area of the field where an awful lot of things can go wrong.
Yeah, you're in an area of the field where you have to be very cautious, and right now the guy who has taken over at least the 2nd half, I think, is Brian Bowden. I mean, he has just taken over defensively for West Warwick, and he's wreaking havoc so far. I mean, they have not been able to block him, and when it's not like he's fighting off blocks, it's like he's in there clean. He's almost too quick for anybody Barrington has right now.
Twins to the left. West Warwick with a 10-0 lead deep in their own territory here in the 3rd quarter. Michael at hands. It's Molnar. Again, cruising off right tackle for a gain of a couple. Michael is there. Baum, I think, is there too. And Bob Speaker, who's played a whale of a game defensively for the Eagles.
Yeah, we've mentioned his name an awful lot from that linebacker spot. But if I'm Bill McCagney right now, what I'm concerned about is my offense isn't moving the football. They've had 2 possessions now that they lost yardage on that last possession. Their first possession this half, they were 3 and out. So, I mean, he's really got to start being concerned about what do I do offensively right now.
Alves is left with Politelli. 4 and change to play. They go right up the middle, and the Eagles stack it up nicely. Leno's guard Baum is there. Speaker is there, too. 3rd down. 3rd and 7. Some of the Wizard fans down below are saying, hey, throw the ball. I don't think so.
No. I don't. But you know what? They have been effective throwing the ball when they've been able to get man coverage. And as Mike just noticed, you had man coverage on the Twins out here. It's forcing man coverage over there because Cirillo was playing a free safety. They've really taken Cirillo out of it by throwing to the sidelines. He can't react to the ball because he has a responsibility over the middle. So they've kind of done some things offensively. I think they've taken Barrington out of their game.
3rd and 7. Bowden in motion. Ouellette drops. Ouellette in trouble. Ouellette goes down.
Ouellette is caught in the backfield.
Finally, the Eagles got him. Fortin and Mr. Trevor Michael again.
76. Scott Fortin.
4th and a long ways to go for the Wizards, so they'll punt naturally. But more importantly, the line of scrimmage is the 14-yard line. Briggs will be punting from inside his 5, and he hasn't gotten off a boomer.
And they've stacked again on the right side. They're going to send 3 guys off the corner and see if they can't get at him. Somebody move.
Straight up with the punt. Barrington's going to get all kinds of yardage here. The ball dies at the 32-yard line.
There is a flag on the field.
Well, Norman King will come over and say illegal motion, West Warwick. And I'm not sure.
Declining Cirillo's.
Yeah, they'll decline it. And I think that's a smart move, Ray.
It is, because, you know, it was a terrible punt, and only they're on about the 32-yard line. Do you take a chance of letting him punt it again, and all of a sudden he bangs one out on you, or you get a fumble on the return? A lot of things that could happen. You're only 32 yards away. You're down 10-0. Take the ball and get something happening.
West Warwick has had the lead since early in the first period when Ouellette hit Bowden on a 65-yard touchdown pass. 1st and 10 for Barrington. The Eagles dying for a score late here in the third. Cirillo at quarterback. And Dunphy and Randolph in the backfield, and Randolph spin, turn down Casey Factor and Ali Shahadi. Sullivan actually made first contact, blowing in from his tackle spot.
58, Ryan DeRozier.
I tell you right now, the war of the trenches is being won by West Warwick. They have dominated the line of scrimmage, especially when they're on the defense. I mean, they've really taken Barrington out of their game in terms of what they want to do offensively. And I think a lot of it has to do with the penetration the front four is getting.
Really the first time they've put a clamp on Randolph in a while. Randolph left half, Dunphy the right half. Cirillo wants to throw it. Sayonara. Mike Sullivan will set up a 3rd down after a loss of 9.
Cirillo took a minute to get up because he just got pancaked by Sullivan. And West Warwick did that with a 3-man rush. They dropped 8 guys back. Linebackers weren't coming. There were only 3 guys coming, and Sullivan just came around the corner, beat his man. At the end of the play, it had like 5 blue shirts looking at Cirillo just getting pounded into the turf. There weren't a lot of white shirts there, just 3 guys.
The Wizards urge their fans on. The Eagles do the same. It's noisy here at Victory Field. 3rd down and long for Barrington. Cirillo out of the shotgun. Nice step up. Here's the quarterback draw. It's going to gain some yards. Michael to the 30. Michael inside the 20. Michael to the 10-yard line. 1st down, Barrington. A huge play by the Eagle quarterback. Finally, they got one. The Wizards had them all coming, and they ran the quarterback draw.
Oh, and I tell you what, I mean, they had everybody spread out. Their receivers spread out. They left the middle of the field open. Cirillo saw that slot. He was going for a 32-yard pickup.
So now it's 1st and 10, just outside the 10-yard line.
Can they make a first? Yes, they can.
They can get a first. It's about 6 inches from the goal line. The Eagles looking at another golden opportunity. Inside the last minute of play, 3rd quarter. Randolph bumped at the line of scrimmage, put down by Sullivan. 2nd down and 10. They may get 1 more play off, maybe 2 more plays off before the end of the quarter.
Randolph started that play off to the right. He saw an opening over on the left-hand side, tried to cut back. Briggs came up from the middle linebacker spot and just closed the door in a hurry.
On 2nd down, Hackett comes out. Principe is back. Tony goes right. The right half, actually the slot back right, is Dunphy. Randolph the tail. Cirillo holds. He's got room. He's to the 5.
Cirillo down to the 5-yard line.
They picked up half of them. It's 3rd down and 5 from the 5.
20, David Alves.
The clock showing 15 seconds left to play in the period. We don't know how official that is. Well, we know it's not official. We don't know how close it is. How's that? Norman King surveying. And that'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. 10-0 Wizards. The Eagles 5 yards away from getting on the board. Hey, this is playoff football.
Well, I tell you what, John, I think Barrington has to get a touchdown here. I think they're saying to themselves, 2 downs to go 5 yards. Psychologically, fine. Field goal's 3 points, but I think they'd like to punch it in right here. They really need the 7 to get themselves emotionally back into the game.
If you happen to be surfing, we're glad you stopped here. We're heading to the 4th quarter of the Division II semifinals. The Rhode Island Interscholastic Football League Ray, it's been a great season, too. Talk for a minute about the Westerly Bulldogs who won this division and about some of the other great teams. I mean, LaSalle's been outstanding this year. It's really some exciting late season football.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you look at the LaSalle East Providence game, the number of people that were there. Bill McCagney has done a great job with this Barrington program. I mean, they got moved up to Division II. They've been here 2 years in a row. They're in the playoffs 2 years in a row. Westerly Bulldogs, I mean, last year they finished 4th. This year they're in 1st place in the division. They were the regular division champs, undefeated. I think Barrington's only loss was to Westerly. And to me, the surprise, you got to look at what's going on in Coventry. Jerry Zarella has done a great job in bringing that program up into his 3rd year. A lot of things are going on and are very exciting in Rhode Island football right now.
Also want to salute the Division IV champs, Classical. 3rd down, 6.
Whoa.
Oh, a stuffing.
Down by Randolph.
Factor, holy mackerel. Casey Factor just came blasting in and Dunphy got 0. Okay. On 4th down and 4, the Eagles are going to try to put something up on the board. It looks like they'll set up for a field goal, and indeed Diebold will go out there. For Diebold, it'll be a 20-yarder, maybe a 22-yarder.
Eric Diebold attempting a 15-yard field goal.
And it is blocked. The Wizards have the ball. It's Brian Bowden. Look at Brian Bowden play football, ladies and gentlemen. He came in, he got the block. The bad snap created the problem. And again, Barrington comes up empty.
7-yard line.
That's a big play because not only is it a big play in terms of score, it's a big play in terms of emotion and momentum. I mean, that really puts West Warwick in a situation when they feel, hey, wait a minute, we've taken control of this ball game, and we're keeping control of the ball game. Now it's the beginning of the 4th quarter where you got a bad snap. Barrington's looking again on the scoreboard. West Warwick takes them right out of it. The bad snap, a little special teams mistake, has come back to really hurt Barrington.
1st and 10 for the Wizards at the 29. The ball control is of the import for the guys in the white jerseys right now. Bowden
on the carry.
still alive. Across the 31, and then the wave of blue sets him back. LeGros
Michael on the tackle.
and Trevor Michael. 2nd down now. We have a timeout on the field. Norm King is going to take a look at another player. We've got an injured Eagle.
64.
And I believe that's Baum, the nose guard.
Looks like a cramp the way he was holding his foot. Brian Bowden has played one heck of a football game.
2nd down and 7. Try to catch and see who they tossed in there to replace Andy Baum.
He may not be coming back for a while.
He is hurting over there on the near sideline. Baum is one of the many seniors. He does not want to come out of this game. Bowden on the counter. Smack down. There is Bob Speaker at his best.
Bob Speaker on the tackle.
It'll be 3rd down. He picked up 3, but Speaker made him pay for every one of them.
And we've used his name more than once. I mean, he controls that defense and a linebacker. He's a big boy, too. What I'm concerned about if I'm Baum right now, I mean, Barrington goes a lot from a shotgun offense. Now all of a sudden you're going to ask somebody to come in there and start snapping the ball back to Sorrell in a shotgun. He hasn't been there. Who knows when's the last time he does it? What does this do to Bill McCagney's play calling?
What I think the Eagles did, they moved Pierce to the nose, and they inserted Matt Campagnon in there at a defensive tackle. He's playing the right tackle right now. Big play, Wizards, 3rd and 5 on the draw. Molnar is there for the 1st down. Adam Molnar to the 40-yard line. Ray, you mentioned the war in the trenches and how it affects a game. It's a cliche and it's used a lot, but there you saw how important it is to control the line of scrimmage.
You have to do that, and credit Adam Molnar also. I mean, he got the 1st down in his own effort. He had a couple of blue shirts hanging him, but they gave him the crease that he needed to get into the secondary, to get at the linebackers, and then Adam did it himself.
Bowden in the wing, Alves in motion, Politelli right, and a fumble, and Barrington's got it. Trevor Michael. The first major mistake for West Warwick, and it comes in an inopportune time and an inopportune place. Still 9:47 showing on the clock. The Eagles get the ball back in Wizard territory at the 38. A huge play and a huge pickup by Trevor Michael.
Well, Barrington's got to do something with it, though. That's been their problem. They've had some opportunities. They haven't been able to capitalize. They made some mistakes themselves. That's really the first mistake that West Warwick has made.
7-yard line.
Randolph in the backfield along with Chirillo. Chirillo will try that quarterback draw again. He got 30 yards on it the last time he pulled it. He's going to get some good yards this time. He's at the 20, and he runs out of real estate at the 20-yard line. Right there, Cirillo picks up 16 or so, yeah. Line of scrimmage was a 36. They're going to mark it at around the 20. Oh, it's a 16-yard game.
By Cirillo for an Eagle first down.
Mike Cirillo, very dangerous. The all-division quarterback in Division II.
At the Wizards 21.
The Eagles trail it by the score of 10-0. It's been that way for a dog's age now. Wide and slot men left. Cirillo will try it again. This time goes left side. This time, though, he's taken down. A loss of a couple.
32 Adam Molnar. And
it's Molnar and Shaheda, yeah.
On the tackle.
2nd and 11.
Kind of went to the well too many times with that quarterback draw. I mean,
2nd down and 11.
And then what happened there, he couldn't get as wide as he wanted to, and that allowed the linebacker, Shahedi in particular, to come up and make the play.
At the end of the game, will be located
wide right goes Hackett.
End zone in that parking lot just to the left.
This time they go offset left. A bump, but Cirillo's okay, and he throws. And near the original line of scrimmage, it's complete to Dunphy. So they picked up a couple. Just a strange play from the bump that Cirillo took from his own teammate.
Well, what happened was Brian Bowden blew in off the corner. He's been kind of sitting there reading everything. He hasn't really blitzed at all. They sent Bowden on that play, and he almost overran the blocker. He just kind of pushed the blocker into him, and disrupted enough of that play.
Barrington needs some yards here. 3rd and 11 to go. Ball outside the 20. Cirillo out of the shotgun. He's got a lot of people to choose from, and he's got one. He's got Principe at the 9-yard line. First down, Barrington.
The 13 Ryan Alvarez on the coverage. Along with
big play, and they sent everybody.
And you know what? Now you see why he's a first-team all-division quarterback. He sat, he waited, and Principe did a nice job of finding a hole in the zone. He just kind of settled in there between the linebackers, defensive backs. Cirillo found him, hit him on a nice strike, and all of a sudden they're like, what are we looking at? 1st and goal from the 9?
Exactly. Barrington trailing 10 bubble. Inside handoff, Dunphy to the 5.
33 Casey Dunphy.
Down to the 4-yard line by Molnar. Alvarez is there as well, and the last one pile was Jay Briggs. 2nd down and goal. They mark it at the 5.
Got to do it here. Barrington needs a score. They cannot make a mistake.
The Eagles have been this close a couple of times before. They fumbled one away the end of the first half, and then the Wizard defense forced the bad
number 1, David Randolph.
field goal attempt. Factor sets Randolph down at the 4. It's 3rd and goal from the 4.
He just got a piece of Randolph's ankle as Randolph was trying to change it. Casey was on the ground, just kind of reached out and grabbed hold, just got a piece of him, but just enough because Randolph was in the process of cutting, and Casey kind of took him out from under.
Time running out on Barrington's chances for a Division II Super Bowl. They need a score. It's 3rd and goal from the 4. And there's a loose ball picked up by Randolph, heading toward the end zone. Touchdown. A busted play puts the Eagles back in it.
That makes the score on the Wizards 10 and the Eagles 6.
In what may be the ugliest play in Rhode Island high school football this year, Barrington gets 6 huge points, and the Eagles are back in the thing.
I mean, they've run so many good plays today, and now all of a sudden on a fumbled option pitch, I mean, Cirillo was on his way down, just kind of chucked it, hit the ground, but you know what? Footballs bounce funny ways, and that one bounced right into Randolph's hand. Now the point's good. All of a sudden, Barrington's only down by 3, and this place is all lit up.
Debo puts it through with about 35 yards to spare. Maybe a little indication of the adrenaline flow now, Ray. They needed that so badly. And it happened on a play.
Yeah, the defense kind of almost frozen because the ball was on the ground. It bounces back up into Randolph's hands, and nobody picked him up. They were kind of watching the football and thought they had a fumble. I think everybody was reacting to that, and off goes Randolph.
Don't forget that all began after Trevor Michaels' fumble recovery at the 40-yard line. The Eagles take it in. And on a 4-yard run by Randolph, and the kick by Diebold, 10-7 is the score. Roger Diebold will kick. He's one of the many seniors on this Barrington team. There's a low rider by Diebold to Josh Parent. Pretty good outfielder and a pretty good return man. 17 yards on the carry on the return. The ball's at the 42-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 42-yard.
That's pretty good field position for West Warwick. But the Wizards want to, but the Wizards have got to hold on to the ball right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have great news. No one has brought that ticket up, so pull your tickets out, folks.
Want to get my ticket, Ray? It's got to be a good little kitty here.
Your winning ticket, 33-77-655.
I don't have it. I'm still a poor man, but I'm enjoying a good football game.
655. Please bring your ticket up for 100.
All right, 6:34 left to play in the ball game. In regulation, Molnar for the Wizards, a couple and no more.
Gain of 2.
2nd and 8. Michael and Piles.
66, Bobby Speaker. 88, Trevor Michael, all in on the tackle.
2nd and 9. Boy, if the Eagles can ever put a stop on this one,
2nd and 9.
there's going to be some electricity flying near the old white church.
Yeah, electricity flying, a lot of West Warwick nerves will be really cranked up because for most of this game, West Warwick has had what they've wanted. They've kind of controlled this game, and now all of a sudden you can feel it. I mean, people in Barrington, the kids on the sideline, the people in the stands, you can feel the momentum changing.
Politelli wide left. They got a slot man left. That's Josh Parent, I believe. Briggs goes in motion. Bowden slowed behind the line. He might have gotten a yard. The pause of Andrew Pierce. Trevor Michael is there. And Andy Baum, who's back in the ball game, making the step.
And you can see it. There's a quicker step in Barrington. They're moving to the ball a little faster. You can just see that's done wonders for them. That touchdown on that bouncing ball, you know, that's really picked Barrington up. Now West Warwick's looking at 3rd and 9, and this could be a momentum swing if West Warwick can't get a first down.
3rd down and 9. The ball at the Wizards' own 44-yard line. Molnar in the split backfield with Alves. Bowden the wingman right. Ouellette wants to throw. It is complete for a first down to the 45-yard line. A big catch by sophomore Dan Politelli. And West Warwick retains possession and moves it into Barrington territory at the 45. Now the clock reads 4:56 left to play. Again, it's not official, but it's close. 4:56 left in somebody's season.
Well, what happened there was they really gave Politelli too much room. I mean, he was 2 yards beyond the first down marker, and a defender was still 3 yards behind him. In this situation, you can't give a kid that much room. You got to be right on top of him to keep him inside the first down. They didn't do that.
Politelli wide right side. Again, Bowden the wingman right. Split backfield behind Mike Ouellette. Molnar, a couple, no more. A nice tackle by Scott Fortin to prevent what could have been a major carry.
Yeah, because someone from Barrington, I didn't catch a number, but he got in there clean. It looked like he was getting ready to take the handoff. I mean, he just was a nose guy that had to be bombed there, and then he just almost took that handoff. I mean, he was that close to it. Molnar had a sidestep, but the end result is only a 1-yard gain. And again, West Warwick has got to try to control the football.
2nd down 9. Same formation, split backfield with the wing back right. Ouellette. Quick opener for Molnar, and he didn't get very much. But the clock.
66, Bobby.
Oh, that clock.
On the tackle.
3rd down 5 for West Warwick. Now, we talked about the veteran talent of this Barrington team. Cirillo, Hackett, Andriozzi, LeGros, Diebold, Canders, Brown, Reed, Baum, Pierce, Fortin, Michael, all seniors.
This is a big play right here. If they can force West Warwick into a 4th down situation, they're in good shape.
The Wizards will take a timeout. 10-7 is the score.
Wizard timeout on the field.
The rich get richer. State Representative Tim Williamson wins $116 in the raffle.
Didn't he come by and tell us he was taking us out after because he won? Is that what he said when he leaned over us?
No. I think he said, "Hi guys, haha." It is 3rd down and 5. McCagney is imploring his Eagles for one last stand right here. No doubt the Wizards would punt if they don't get the 1st down on this big 3rd and 5. Ouellette will throw. Deep. And Briggs has it. And the Wizards may have the ball game in the bank. Touchdown, West Warwick, but a flag is down at the 43-yard line. Holding West Warwick. Barrington is still alive. Oh, my. What would have been a 40-yard touchdown by the Wizards is now a 10-yard penalty for holding, and the Eagles survived to breathe some more breaths.
I'll tell you what happened there. Jay Briggs has been staying into block the whole game. They haven't released him, and all of a sudden they just released him on a straight fly pattern. And for Barrington, Chris Legro, I think, was so focused on the play action because it was 3rd and 5. I think that's what he was looking for. Jay Briggs went right by him, and Jay Briggs has some speed. People don't realize that. It's a tight end, but he's got speed for a tight end. He probably should be a wide receiver. Went right by Legro because I think Legro was frozen on the play action. Penalty takes it all away, so now we do it all over again.
Yeah, you can use the word drama. Go ahead. 3rd and 20. 3:15 to play. The Wizards have the ball game in the bank. Here goes Molnar. He's back toward the original line of scrimmage plus a couple.
About 11-yard pickup by Molnar.
Molnar got about 14 to the 42-yard line, and now a timeout is called by Barrington, anticipating a Wizard punt. So they'll have 2 timeouts left. And again, Ray, I've got to believe, and they've been close to Briggs on the punt. They will do the same right here. Anything can happen.
And you remember in the first half, they put a lot of pressure on Briggs, and he just kind of got one up that probably was only a 10, 12-yard punt. You definitely got to go here. I mean, you can't worry about a return. I think what we'll see is Barrington will load up on the right-hand side. You'll see 3 or 4 guys on this side. You can't block them all because of the formation, and hope they can beat the snap, get to Briggs before he can get the kick off. So I'm looking at about 3 minutes, 3:03 on the clock. They have to at least make him rush it because as it is, they're still going to have 70 yards to go.
It'll be a 4th and 8 for the Wizards. That's academic. Briggs has got to get a punt off. And then the Wizards have to hold as Barrington makes its final stand here in its own football field. Briggs from his own 47.
Return Briggs punt.
Cirillo at his own 20. The snap is high but fielded cleanly. Briggs gets one off left. A nice bounce at the 9-yard line. Cirillo
5-yard punt
to the near side of the field. Down at the 15-yard line. Barrington 85 yards away from stealing this game and a berth to the Super Bowl. And it would be just that.
Oh, yeah, you know who made the play there? He didn't make the tackle, but he forced the direction, was David Alves. He stood his ground and didn't let Cirillo get to the outside, forced him to have to turn back inside where the pursuit caught up with him. So David Alves had a lot to say with what happened on that play.
Hey, there's about 1,000 nervous Nellies here now. Baum comes in. Out goes Dave Schachter. Inside 3 minutes to play. Cirillo out of the shotgun. A step back, and that he is just plain met. Hello, sayonara, see ya. Ali Shahadi came in and just engulfed him in his arms. It's 2nd down. more importantly, clock's running.
Clock's running, and we haven't called Shahadi's name too much, but he just came blasting in from his linebacker spot. He was untouched. I mean, it was like Cirillo just got greeted the way he didn't want to be met. I'm sure he didn't want to meet Shahadi in that position.
Give Cirillo a little bit of credit for not going down as quickly as I probably would have. On second down, Cirillo looks again, looking moderately deep. He's got a man underneath. That's Principe. Nice read by Cirillo. However, another flag is down. Holding Barrington.
There's a flag on the field.
Negate the reception. Move the ball back. Oh my. And on the clock, 2 minutes, 1 second. It's the Wizards 10, the Eagles 7.
And now Barrington's 96 yards away because that penalty just put the ball on the 4-yard line. Second down, but I mean, they've got over 20 yards to go just to get a first down, and we're at least by the clock, just about at 2 minutes to go. So, I mean, Barrington is like at their last gasp right here.
Cirillo comes in with the play from Bill McCagney.
Second down and long.
We'll watch how softly the Wizards play this with regard to field position. Alves and Politelli drop back, along with Alvarez. Second and very long. A near disaster on the snap. Downtown, it is complete! What a catch by Principe!
To number 11, Anthony Principe.
Oh my goodness, Principe comes up with a gem at the 42-yard line. Bill McCagney says, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Off the Wizards.
A huge catch by Principe. Just as the Wizards were there, it bounced off the body of Politelli. Trips left. First and 10, Barrington. Cirillo with life. And then he is wrapped up.
All set by the quarterback.
First bet by Molnar.
By Molnar.
And now Barrington burns another timeout. They have one left now.
Briggs on the tackle.
I'm not really sure why he called that. He's got a minute and change to go, and he calls an option. I mean, and you're like 60-some yards away, 57 yards away, and you're calling for an option. I mean, West Warwick has played that option very well all night. They really haven't let the draw play they've had trouble with, but they haven't had trouble stopping the option.
All I can think of is maybe shock value. Principe comes up with that huge catch, and now you're a little disjointed, a little disoriented. You just had a big play on a play that you might have had an interception to lock up the entire game. Maybe that's why they went with something a little bit against the grain.
The other thing could have been they were hoping that West Warwick might be in a prevent defense, have 7 or 8 guys back, so that Cirillo has a lot of room, gets as far as he can, and then gets out of bounds. But I mean, I have no way of knowing what Bill was thinking about on that one.
What a catch by Principe. You got to have some concentration there, too. I mean, you're going for the ball, it bounces off a defender, and then you grab it. What a tremendous catch by Tony Principe. Second and 14. Clock winding down. Cirillo rushed, flag down. That could be another hold. Cirillo to midfield. But I think this one's going to be going back even further on a hold. It is holding Barrington.
Casey Factor was a one-man rush. I mean, he was not to be denied. He just kept pushing, pushing, and pushing. And what happened is, I mean, Barrington defender realized, hey, listen, if I don't grab him here, we're going to have a sack. I mean, so he took the penalty, but boy, does that put him in a hole.
Barrington has had a fumbled field goal attempt, a fumble deep in their end zone, deep near their end zone at the early part of the first half. A couple of very bad penalties, this topping the list. It's second and get out the abacus. Barrington has 3 downs and 1 minute, and they need to score.
They're under 20.
Mike Cirillo under the rush of Factor. Nice block to give him more time. Cirillo downtown, intercepted by Alves. The Wizards are going to walk home with tickets to the Division II Super Bowl.
Well, I tell you what, you got to give them an awful lot of credit. They came in here as an underdog. I mean, Barrington had really beat them up 3 weeks ago. The West Warwick group, I mean, their defense in particular, I mean, they stood tall. They bent a few times, but especially on that play. They had 3 guys back there. Barrington only had 1 receiver. I mean, Cirillo did the best he could. He put the ball up. He was trying to make something happen. I mean, he had 3rd down and forever. It really puts in West Warwick, and they're just going to sit on this one.
And that's a great, great call by Steve Alves Jr., using a timeout to get everybody together. Hey, look, you haven't won anything. We have to execute a couple of more plays. Barrington's got a timeout. You got to snap the ball 3 times. You go to the Super Bowl. I was watching Tony Principe walk off, hobbling, hurting. Baum was the same way. Barrington really gave it their all. But now as we approach the last 3 snaps, there's that stark reality that my football season's over, and you've got to feel for those kids in blue.
And I don't care when it is, when you're a senior high school football player, when you get down to the point where you realize, hey, my career is over. I may not be playing football anymore, anywhere. This is it. And you know, they're at home. I mean, this one has to hurt. They're gonna feel this one for a while. And what happens is, I'm not sure if they got 2 timeouts, West Warwick can't take a knee. I think they're gonna have to run a play first, but then after that, you'll see him take a knee.
Mike Ouellette will accept a couple of snaps. They've got Molnar deep just in case. Mike Ouellette is not flashy. He's just a workaholic, and he's a blue-collar kid, and he does nothing fancy. But he's guided this team, and he's thrown a huge touchdown pass to Bowden, another one for 36 yards that set up the field goal. Mike Ouellette hasn't done a lot in the spotlight, but he's been that quiet, killing medicine.
And that's the way we call it, a quiet. I remember when Mike came out as a freshman, because that was my last year as a freshman coach at West Warwick, and I made Mike the quarterback, even though he hadn't played the position before. He did it because A, he was an athlete, and B, he just had that intangible. He worked at it. He's worked at it for 4 years, and now he's leading his team into a Super Bowl, and it's the 2nd year they're there. I mean, what else can you ask him to do?
A couple of snaps separating the Wizards from a date with Westerly or Coventry. At Bryant College, 2nd and 11. Immaterial. There's the snap.
Down by the quarterback.
I don't believe Barrington has a timeout left. I think I can count to 3.
Well, if they don't,
they'll do it one more time. They may have to do it one more time. What a game for Brian Bowden tonight. Outstanding defensively. A touchdown reception of 65 yards. He has 2 catches for 101 yards. 1 more snap for the orange and black. Ouellette sits on the football. West Warwick will advance to the Division II championship.
And that's the final score with the Wizards.
10-7 West Warwick.
Ladies and gentlemen,
an outstanding game.
An outstanding game for both teams. I mean, you can't sit here and say Barrington didn't give their all. They absolutely did. What happened was they ran into a West Warwick team tonight that was just more determined. They were determined to make up for what happened. They knew that they had probably played their worst game of the season when they were here playing Barrington for the first time. They wanted to make up for that, and they were going to do that. And Steve Alves is now going to go home a very wet coach because he just got a whole bucket of water dumped on him. But you know what? I've had that done before. It's the greatest feeling in the world.
For Barrington Senior, a bittersweet ending to a very sweet season. They'll look upon the 2001 season. Look at that 8-1 regular season record. They're 9-3 over the overall mark. And it was a very special year for Bill McCagney and a very special group of young men from the East Bay. For the Wizards, it's an opportunity to recapture lightning in a bottle.